Visionaries is brought to you in partnership with Harvard University's Ash Institute for Democratic Governance. Additional funding provided by Helen D. Groom Beatty Trust, a Mellon Mid-Atlantic charitable trust.
Visionaries is proud to present its 15th season on public television. Sometimes you read the paper and watch the news, and it seems like there's more bad news than good in the world. But you know what? It's just not true.
I at least can hold on to something, that there's something, maybe it's small, but there's something that I'm doing to make a difference.
It's just a feeling that you have. If you can help people, you have to. There's no alternative.
Every child has potential that we just can't know. And so, to my mind, that's what we're doing. We are saving potential for the future.
Change can come about slowly and quietly, or suddenly and dramatically. The terrorist attacks of September 11th brought demands for drastic change in the way our nation protects itself from those who would do us harm. One conclusion from the post-9/11 report: the branches of America's intelligence community need to start cooperating with each other. The Civilian Joint Duty Program is a bold effort to require interagency cooperation for the common good. Simply put, if you want to be promoted to a senior position at your agency, you have to be willing to spend time working at a different agency. A CIA agent spends a year with the FBI. An analyst from the National Security Agency shares ideas and insights with the Department of Homeland Security. Civilian joint duty is an ambitious undertaking, but the security of our nation could very well depend on its success.
Joint duty allows the individual to have an experience outside of their home component. In other words, it provides them an opportunity to walk in the shoes of another person from another organization.
The Joint Duty Program for the intelligence community allows individuals from all the various agencies in the community to come together and to work together.
They pull them out of their primary agency, their parent organization, and they move them to one of the sister intelligence agencies.
It's tough, but the buy-in is that everybody understands that we can't afford another tragedy like 9/11.
We failed the nation at 9/11, and part of that failure was the lack of coordination, integration, information sharing across the community. Now, many times I refer to community, and of course in my world I'm talking about the intelligence community. The intelligence community is made up of 16 agencies that are spread across 6 different departments.
The Joint Duty Program is more of an exchange program for the intelligence community. You come into different agencies to get the background and experience to bring back to your home agency to help broaden the collaboration efforts.
And it's not a prisoner exchange. I give you one, you give me one. You have to get away from that mentality. You just got to put the talent out there and look for the talent to come to you, and it will work.
And this is actually a great way to bridge those gaps that are in the intelligence community, of people not even knowing, hey, guess what? We have 5 or 6 different agencies working on the same thing, but they don't even talk to each other. This actually starts like, oh, by the way, hey, I was over at another agency and they're working on the same thing we're working on.
If I could be you and you could be me for just 1 hour, if we could find a way to get inside each other's minds.
The requirement for promotion at the senior level is that you must have joint duty experience. So we leave it to the individual members of the community to seek that opportunity.
However, it is not mandatory that anyone does it. So all the individuals within the Joint Duty Program have chosen to do this of their own volition?
My home agency is Defense Intelligence Agency. I've been detailed to the Office of Director of National Intelligence. Working on a project together, you get to see, while the work might be the same, the way to do it is totally different.
Coming into the Joint Duty Program, my agency is one that's not so well known. So you're working with people that are in the movie, are in the movies with the FBI, NSA, all these guys, and they really don't know about what my agency can provide.
The fact of joint duty is you move around in the community. Then you understand it more broadly, therefore you're more apt to be willing to share information.
Quite often when you have that experience outside of your organization, you learn something new, which may become a best practice for your own organization when you come back.
If we're going to be as relevant as we need to be and as supportive as we must be in support of the defense of the nation, collaboration and broader understanding across the community was essential.
This is definitely new for members of the intelligence community. Sometimes it makes them nervous.
If you look at my generation, a lot of people think if you are offered an opportunity to go to another agency, you would think, uh-oh, am I marketable? Is this in question? Where have I gone wrong? Am I putting myself at risk?
It was a little scary. I didn't really know anyone over at DIA, at the Defense Intelligence Agency, but I was warmly welcomed.
The culture has changed. The opportunities that are out there are broad.
So far, I've had great experiences. I've worked with a lot of people with a lot of varying different backgrounds. People I probably would have never met on a daily basis.
It really helps. It shows you the entire, how the intelligence community operates as a whole.
It can happen in a variety of ways. One is in a common work area. One could be based on the personal relationships that have developed as a result of having served with each other in a prior experience.
The fact that we have to work in small teams, move fast, I think it's key that we get to know each other better.
And there's nothing like picking up the telephone and saying, "Hello, Mike," because you know the face, you know the voice, you have a common experience, and there's a bond and there's a level of trust. And that's what we're after. That's what we are attempting to achieve.
You can get stuff done very quickly.
Our whole objective with joint duty is integration to force collaboration across the intelligence community. First of all, America, by and large, likes to read about spies or see spy movies, but we don't embrace spies very favorably. So in our past, we're never quite ready. World War I, World War II, we had to sort of make it up on the go.
The way the intelligence community was started and created, everyone had a stake in a claim and no one really wanted to work together. And this definitely helps break down those barriers, and it lets us know, hey, not everyone has the whole pie. We have a piece, and we need to put those pieces together and figure out what goes on.
Why do you have an intelligence community? It's for warning, it's for understanding, it's for insight, particularly from a foreign organization's point of view. How do the terrorists see it? So if we can understand it through the terrorist eyes, we're going to be more capable in stopping it or preventing it or interfering with it or degrading it in some way.
I think the Civilian Joint Duty Program will help me become a better public servant.
I'd want to be able to make a difference for my country. And in order to be able to do that, I need to avail myself to the broadest experience that I can. And I think this Joint Duty Program gives me that opportunity.
If you have to adapt, the enemies are adapting. They're vicious, fast, and if we don't change accordingly, we will never be able to catch them.
Remember, 9/11, the terrorists were trained overseas in a foreign context. They were foreigners, but they actually carried out their act of attack inside the United States.
We would not be able to catch the bad guys alone as a single agency. The intelligence community needs to work together in order to do this.
Yes, sir, it is a matter of life and death.
For instance, an individual at the National Security Agency may have intercepted telephone traffic from a potential terrorist cell in one country, making connection with another potential terrorist cell in the United States, and that this information may be conveyed to the FBI, who may now have an opportunity to intercede and disrupt a potential terrorist threat.
Well, I could see that the Joint Duty Program working in multiple agencies. I mean,
it will be a challenge to repeat, but it should be repeated.
It is something that I think would be useful in other areas in government.
By allowing them that opportunity to step outside their comfort zone, if you will, within their respective organization, and have an experience in another part of government.
You get to know how everything works, and hopefully we'll streamline collaboration efforts in the future.
Quite frankly, it's precedent setting. It's never been done before for civilians, or it has never been done before across departments.
It's totally revolutionary, the fact that I'm working with different agencies on a daily basis.
I think this new generation is going to work very smoothly into joint duty, where someone from my generation would pause at the opportunity of going out the door. They're ready to go. I can make that happen, and off they go. And then when they come off their joint duty assignment, they're like, you know, before I go back to my parent organization, I would really like to do this and gain experience in that. And they go off and do it, and they do extremely well.
So for us, there's a great program. You can get that joint duty experience earlier in your career, which will then help out further your career in the future.
We literally have thousands of people who are currently earning joint duty assignment credit, who are actually out among the various organizations and agencies doing joint duty tours.
When something like 9/11 occurs, you have to admit to yourself it's a failure, and what requirements are there to be changed, or what needs to be changed in a way that you could prevent that sort of thing in the future.
Speaking truth to power is not an issue here. If you've got a better idea, Director McConnell has been open to that idea and allows you the opportunity to put it on the table and talk about ways to go forward.
When I was a youngster, about 10 years old, my father and I were having a father-son chat, and he made a comment that people hate change. I don't know why I remember this so vividly in my past, but as a youngster, I just said to myself, and I would never be afraid of change. As a matter of fact, I would embrace change, and I would look for change.
Don't you feel a change coming from another side of time, breaking down the walls of silence, lifting shadows from your mind?
There's no question in my mind, this community has to be more collaborative to be successful. And we think those that helped us put together the Joint Duty Program have given us a great tool and a great opportunity to serve the nation, because the intelligence community will be forced to collaborate at a much higher level and in much more detail than we did in the past.
Let's all start living, 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 living for the one that's going to last. La 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 la.